Last time I was talking about the seven limb prayer. Then I was mentioned about the importance of requesting for teachings, and how that the fifth and sixth limbs, requesting for teachings, and then requesting for the Buddha to remain in the world, which is also requesting for our teachers to live long lives, and how those two actually go together. Because if we're requesting teachings, then our teachers have got to be alive. And if our teacher's alive, we want to receive teachings from them, because that's the primary way that that the Buddha helps us, is by giving us teachings. Okay, so that's important to remember, because sometimes people get really into rituals and prayers and elaborate offerings and things like that. And those are all wonderful activities that create a lot of merit. But the real way that the Buddha benefits us is, through the teachings. And so that's really important to remember. It's not just, the Buddha doesn't appear in our world so that we can worship him. We create merit by doing all these other things, but it's really the teachings that are important. And so to remember that. But the Tibetans also have a thing about doing long life pujas. Do they have that in Chinese tradition or Vietnamese tradition? No, not in Vietnamese, not in Chinese. Yeah, well, the Tibetans do that. And so you'll see at the end of all of His Holiness's teachings, there's usually at least one, if not more, very, very elaborate long life pujas. And so the purpose of those, it looks like we're requesting His Holiness to live long, but I think what's really going on is we're creating the merit so that it makes sense for His Holiness to remain and teach us, okay? Because if we don't have merit, if our minds are really obscured, then, there's no reason really for the Buddhas to hang out and, just stay in samsara for if they're not able to teach us. So it's really for our benefit that we offer the pujas. And then, like I was saying last time, when we request teachings, we should attend the teachings we request, okay? And not just request them and not show up afterwards. And then after we request them, and show up to hear them, we should really take them seriously and try and put them into practice. Of course, sometimes we receive so many teachings and there is so much to practice that we go, oh my God, what do I do? How do I get this all fit into one practice? And, we just had teachings on Shita Madra, so are we going to, before that, we had one day of Shantideva. So, Shantideva was first, got to drop that. Now we're going to study Chittamadra. Then come tomorrow, Vinaya. Okay, drop Chittamadra. We're doing Vinaya. Then Thursday, drop all that. We're doing, Shantideva again. Then it's His Holiness's, how to see your life as, how to see yourself as you really are. So forget everything and we'll focus on that book. And it's really easy to get quite confused because there's so much to learn. So like I explained last Thursday at the introduction for the Shantideva's text about the three capacity beings, if you know that outline very well, and you will get quizzed on it, then you will know where all the different teachings you receive, where they fit into the path. And then that will help you, maybe you can't practice everything that a certain teacher taught during an intensive course, but you can take out certain points of it and put it in the Lam Rim as you're going through the Lam Rim meditations and contemplating them, okay? And so that is very, very helpful. And we really, I think, have to resist the tendency to go with the newest, highest teaching that seems really exciting because we just heard it, and then when we start contemplating it, or just even studying our notes, it's like, oh, this is hard, and it sounded so spectacular when I listened to it, and now I don't really understand it. And I tried to meditate on it, and all I saw was, lunch, or, what somebody said to me in fifth grade, or this conversation I had with somebody yesterday, and so then you just sit and wait for the next kind of hit of some fantastic teaching that you can get excited about, and then the same thing happens again. Have any of you experienced that? Yeah. Okay. So it's really good at some point, to construct a practice, to know where different teachings come in, and to know which things you need to focus on now and which things, you know, to do as part of your glance meditation, because we're encouraged to do the glance meditation every day because it hits on the important points of the Lamrim. And so some teachings you may receive, you put them into the glance meditation. That's where they belong in the Lamrim, but it's not the object of your intense focus right now, okay? Because you kind of have to keep something together that you do repeatedly in order to really make some progress on it, okay? Yeah, so I think it is quite important to, request teachings, to request our teachers to live long. I try and remember and do that every time I go to visit any of my teachers, because I think it's quite important. It's kind of saying, well, what it's doing is it's reinforcing our connection with them. And it's so important that we are connected to really wise, compassionate teachers who know the Dharma well, who can lead us. And so by, saying, please to continue to teach and guide us, and please live long, we're, not solidifying, we're energizing that connection, which is primarily for us to remember how valuable they are, because our teachers are, they look out for our benefit, and they're giving all the time, but requesting teachings and long life is for us to remember that this is something important and not take it for granted, okay? I've heard some people say, when one of my teachers passed away, some people were saying, oh, the students didn't, the Westerners were saying this. I didn't hear the Tibetans saying it. The Westerners were saying, oh, we didn't practice very well, and that's why he died. I am not in favor of that kind of take on things, okay? I don't find it helpful at all, especially for Westerners who tend to feel guilty and blame themselves for things. And I'm saying that in case you hear it from other people in the future, okay? They do say, if you think about it, the Buddhas appear and our teachers live long if we are interested and we practice well and so on, and so that's what's important to do. But don't go from there to, my teacher passed away and it's my fault because I didn't practice well, or it's the student's fault because we didn't practice well. Okay, that's not at all helpful to anybody, okay? And I don't think it's true because our teachers do have regular bodies, and the bodies get old and they stop functioning. And, there was a period in the early 80s when many of the old teachers passed away just in a few short years. But now they're all in their 30s. Yeah. And they're ready to, they have young bodies and they can continue to teach now when His Holiness is old. Okay. So, it's difficult for us to understand all the things that go on, but it is definitely, if we practice and we make requests, that's going to have an effect. Okay. And that kind of effect is really important, because if we don't have connections with good teachers, we are totally lost. Totally lost. Yeah. So, very important to do those two limbs. Okay. Questions or comments? Anything? Just a little bit about the visualization. When you are requesting long life, you imagine offering the double dorje. This one. Okay. When you request the teaching, your teacher to teach, you in the seven limbs, you imagine offering the Dharma wheel. His Holiness, at the end of teachings, usually when they have all these long life pujas and things like that, and then people say, please come again and teach and everything. And he says, he usually says, if you practice well, I will live long. Yeah? That's what he usually says at the end of a long life puja. Yeah. Not, thank you for all the big offerings you made. Now I don't know where in the world to put them. Yeah, he doesn't say that. He, again, encourages us to really put the Dharma teachings into practice.